I'm Shelby from Shelby Cole Creations, and this is Feeny Beanie. He decided that he needed to be in the video with me because he wants to be a YouTube star. And I got Atlas by me. But I've had a lot of questions.
I had a lot of questions.
I had a lot of people messaging me asking about the breastfeeding sweatshirts I've been making out of the old Hanes hoodies that were... Honey, please. I love you. Okay, rewind. I've been getting a lot of questions about the nursing hoodies that I've been making out of the Hanes sweatshirts. A lot of people were asking me if I was buying ones that already had pockets or hoods, and that would make life so much easier, because if you find ones that have the pocket and hood that you like for cheap, you can just buy two instead of buying quite a few to cut up for those pieces. And these are the ones that I have been buying. They're on sale for like $5. Yeah! And I have been averaging about 3 per hoodie. What I start off doing is I have all of my panels of whatever pattern you want to use cut out. And then you take the front panel and you can actually make, if it's easier for you, just print out.
I'm gonna come in the next video, okay?
Okay, you're gonna come in the next video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, come wave at them and say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna get that out of my
Okay, here you go. You can take the sweatshirt with you.
Wash it.
Okay, sorry about that. So what you can do if you don't just want to keep cutting and retaping the same front panel, you can actually print off like 3 different just front sections if that's easiest for you. But I just print off one and then cut and then tape it back together. But I actually cut one solid front piece, and then I cut one pocket piece, which basically I just fold the front panel in half if it's a solid piece, or I just use a half one, and I cut from like the side seam up and over. And so then I have this shape like this. And what you want to do is you take that piece and then you want to finish off the pockets. And I actually used the ribbing. I upcycled the ribbing from around the necks on here. And it works perfect because this material itself is not stretchy. There's like no give to it. So any part that needs give, you're gonna need to use the ribbing. Also, don't use these on a pattern that needs negative or has negative ease, which means that the measurements for the garment are smaller than the person's measurements, which some knit patterns are. So keep that in mind. You want more of a loose fitting one. But then, so I do that and I stitch that to the plain front panel. And then I take my panel or my pattern piece for the front and I just cut the top where I want it to be able to lift up. And then I actually used the binding from a spare one on the bottom of the hood. I use that right here. And it's nice because it's the ribbing, so it's very stretchy, and it works really well, and I think it looks really cool because then I use it on the bottom as well. But so I sew that on and I flip it down and I top stitch it, and then you want to cut your holes, and I've messed around with them quite a bit. What I have done, it's okay. These ones are top stitched, folded and top stitched. But on a lot of the ones that I make for myself, I actually just do slits, and then I don't even bother top stitching, especially with fabric that doesn't have a lot of give, because it doesn't sag. This isn't going to sag and stretch out so much, but if you're using like fleece or something, you know, that's like pulling in all directions, then you're going to like want to interface hardcore and stitch it, but you're going to want to check and make sure that, I don't know if you can tell here, but in some lighting you can actually see where my top stitching is, where I folded and top stitched, so that's why I like the slits. But anyways, so you cut those, and you have your hood, or you have your pocket piece sewn on here, and then you pin these pieces on top. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your plain front piece, you now have the holes cut in it, and then with directly on top of that, right side's looking up. You're going to put that pocket, make sure that's down, and then you're going to put this piece on it. Make sure everything that you want to see is facing upward and pinned down in place like exactly how you want the shirt. It's okay, honey. And then you're going to want to pin the back piece to the front and just sew it like you normally would. Sew the front to the back and then sew the sleeves in. Just make sure that you catch both front layers, and when you sew the pockets in, make sure you catch them. And the same thing with the band. Just to reiterate, I use the ribbing from the bottom of those sweaters as the bottom of mine because it just, I don't know, style choice. And then with the sleeves, I actually reuse the ribbing from the sleeves on these ones as well.